What's up everybody, Steven here with Neural DSP. And today I want to show you how I would dial in some lead and rhythm tones from the Australian rock band Karnivool. I chose their song New Day off of their album Sound Awake. Seeing as the song is about 8 minutes long, I only chose a couple of parts so that way I could show you a variety of their heavier and lighter tones. As always, links to the presets used in this demo are in the description down below. So I recorded all the bass on a Fender Squier P bass and set up 4 different tones for 3 parts: a clean, a lead, and a grit tone. First, for the clean bass, I used the DARKGLASS Ultra on the VDU setting so I can have a nice, warm, clean, high-mid sound, and then I used the PARALLAX with the mid and high band distortions muted so that way I could use the low-end compression. For the grit tone, I used just the PARALLAX. For the lead tone, I used the PARALLAX, but I actually ran this through the ARCHETYPE ABASI's effects section. I used the delay and the reverb pedal, but the time knob on the delay pedal I left as small as possible so that way I could get a nice chorusing effect to it. For the guitars, I recorded a bunch of parts on my ESP LTD Eclipse, as well as my Comparison Dellinger Prominent 7-string. Drew Goddard and Mark Hosking have been known to use 5150s and Marshall heads, so I went with a mixture of FORTIN Nameless and the ARCHETYPE NOLLY. For the intro guitar, I used the Nameless on both sides, but I actually used the NOLLY's pre-delay, so that way the delay would actually saturate when it hits the Nameless's head. On the rhythm guitars for the main section, I did something a little bit different. In the recording and mixing of this album, Forrester Savell used room mics on their rhythm guitars to give them more ambience and space. So what I did is I used FORTIN Nameless on the left guitar and ARCHETYPE NOLLY on the right guitar. Then I made a send on both of the guitars to go to the effects section of an instance of ARCHETYPE Plini. I'm essentially making a fake room for these guitars. So let's go ahead and listen to the rhythms with and without the additional delay and reverb on them. To my ears, this gets the guitars just a little bit further out to the edges and gives a little bit more room for the snare and lead guitar to take up space down the middle. Now this is pretty subtle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo out the guitars and I'm going to show you the exact frequencies that this kind of gets rid of. Now I've centered this around 120 Hertz, and these guitars tend to get a little bit more rumbly when the fake room isn't in play. So just to point out the exact frequencies and what you specifically want to be listening to, let's go ahead and listen to the guitars without the rooms and narrow down that band at 120 Hertz. So you can hear that the Archetype Pliny's fake room is kind of separating those two guitars out and canceling out a lot of that low-mid rumble. And then for the lead guitars, I used the FORTIN Nameless going into the effects section of the Archetype ABASI. Then at the outro, I used the Archetype ABASI and dialed in some crunchy tones, and then made additional sends out to the Archetype Pliny fake room. I messed around with using the Archetype ABASI's delay and reverb, but I actually found the transition between sections to be a little bit too jarring. Having the Pliny effects as my room send actually made the transition more consistent because it felt like all the guitars were in the same space. And that's how I would dial in some rhythm and lead tones of Karnivool, and I'll make sure that the multi-tracks are available in a link down in the description below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications on when we upload our videos. Comment down below, let me know if you like this content, if you want to see more like it, or if there's an artist or a guitar player that you want to see me dial in next. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.